Sai Ram, everyone. Last week, when we completed the study circle, we were discussing about Asti, Bhati, Priyam. Asti, Bhati, Priyam, the innate characteristics of the Brahman or the Atman. Swami explains that Asti is the isness or being or existing. Bhati is the effulgence which makes everything known. And Priyam, that which is pleasing or dear to us, or it invokes affection for anything in this world. Swami says that these qualities are what's related to Brahman. And we discussed a couple of topics. I think the topic which we discussed at the end was why are some things not pleasing and why do people suffer if that is the quality of Brahman. And I think some of these topics are further discussed by Swami a little later, but we had briefly discussed. So this is where we were. So I will just pause and see if anyone has any comments to share on these topics or any questions, and then we will move on. But these topics are being explored thoroughly by Swami. So I think we will have other opportunities also to discuss as we read further, Saira. But I will still pause if anyone has something to say, Saira. So I think Sister Kalyani, maybe you can move on because I think the participants are okay.
Bhakta, Swami, I have one doubt. Can I ask you? Swami, certainly. Why do you say, can I ask you? Bhakta, some people describe Brahman as Asti, Bhati, Priyam. What does it mean? How are these related to Brahman? Swami, is that the doubt? Asti means that which is. Bhati means that which shines. Priyam means, of course, you know it, don't you? Pleasing, desirable, capable of satisfying. All that is Priyam to you is Brahman.
So this is what we discussed. So I think Mika, you can read on, sister.
Swami, if you dearly love a dog, that dog too is Brahman. The dog has a name and form. If you remove both name and form, and its name and form, then Brahman alone remains. Name and form are past obstructions, bhuta pratibandha. The absence of name and form is Brahman. In all the multifold names and forms, there is inherent just one Brahman. You have to recognize that isness in all. The isness is Asti. The knowledge of the knower is the Bhati. The effulgence, the shining splendor. That too is Brahman. There is a yearning, isn't it? To see it, experience it, to seek for it. That is due to the Priyam, the attraction, the charm. These three are basically characteristic of Brahman, my dear boy.
Okay, thank you very much, sister. So Swami is going on to a bit further. So he gives an example of a dog. So if you love a dog, Swami says that also has Asti Bhati Priya. Then Swami introduces two concepts, which is the name and form. He says the name and form, when it's removed, in two cases. One is the dog itself, and the other in our own self. Then he says what remains is Brahman. And he, of course, he further explains the asti, which is to exist, to be, and also that the knowledge that there's a dog, that the ability to know also exists, not only the affection. Then Swami uses the word bhuta pratibandha. So it is a shackle, or pratibandha means some bondage. Bhuta means, it has a couple of meanings, but in this you can also assume that it is a past. It's related to the past. So one of the things which we can see is, so Swami, the created world has two additional characteristics on top of Asti Bhati Priyam, okay, which is the Brahman. The two characteristics are the name and the form. So everything in this world, the illusory world, which does not last forever, has something called name and form, an object or people, whatever it is. So we can see the name and form are the covering of the Brahman. But we think that it is the name and form which gives us the joy. That's what makes us understand. No, it is the Brahman within. So this is what Swami is sort of explaining. And this, he also goes to say, Priyam is this nature to seek, to see, or to experience something comes from a sense of affection or Priyam, or something which we like. And Swami says that is actually a real characteristic of the Brahman. So those are the words which Swami says. So I will pause here, and we can discuss that.
Sai Ram, just a question about the pratibandha. Why is it past obstructions? Like, why is it called past obstructions? Is it referring to time, as in past, present, future?
Yes, it is referring to time. Because why I am saying it's time related, because there are two other Pratibandha Swami is going to talk about. So it's Bhuta means what happened in the past. Okay, so that's what it is. But I will again open it up for anyone to comment on it if they've thought about it. What exactly is the Bhuta? Why is the name and form related to a past obstacle? An obstacle created by the past. If no one is commenting, so maybe I will go ahead. Others can interject. See, the thing is, if we have taken a birth today, in a form, in a family, it is because of some past action. So what we see today as a name and form has happened because of something which happened before. But what we see as name and form is reality today, but it just didn't happen. It has to have been prepared in the past. Like anything in this world, if you are going to see something, there's some past action involved in creating that. If a house you're walking into, it is a result of some past action, because the house was built by some actions in the past. Otherwise, the house will not be existing today. So in this world, everything we see in its current state has been caused by some action in the past. It is just natural physics, law of physics. You do something and then you see. So every current situation is actually a result of the past. So the name and form which we encounter is that. So that's my understanding. I will again open it up for everyone to discuss. Sorry.
From what you said, is it sort of meaning that we're here today in this name and form because of past karma? And just a question, it seems to me to be equivalent, but I just want to clarify. So Asti, Bhati, Priyam, are they exactly equivalent to Sat, Chit, and Ananda?
Yes, actually, Swami, there's another question and answer here. Swami is saying so. Yeah, but it's exactly the same. Sorry. The same concept.
So, Sairam brother, even if we take karma, whatever you said, is our karma, is other word Swami saying, even our body, there's a name is that's called karma too. It's a past action. Even your wealth, education, who is your mother, who is your father, who is your relatives, who you are surrounding with, what you are doing in the spiritual thing, everything isn't that all embedded in the karma. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam, brother, Sai.
Why is the word obstructions is used there? Is it has any significance?
So the obstruction is a word. I think it's brother. That my understanding also. See, in this world, when the reality is not known, there is something which is obstructing our understanding, obstructing our perception. So what happens is any obstruction which we are facing today is caused by past. And in this case, even for us to understand the Brahman, the name and form can be an obstruction. So that's my understanding. Obstruction is a very, it's an English translation. Pratibandha is, it's much more than obstruction is what I would say. But that's the word what has been used. Because pratibandha loosely is translated as obstruction. But bandha means something which tied. Pratibandha means tied together.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's some form of you are unable to move around. You are limited by that. So the name and form actually is the limitation. So that's my side.
Good.
I think we'll continue because there are a few concepts discussed. I think then we can again, if everyone wants, we can come back and discuss because it's a very related topics being discussed.
Bhakta, what is this Satchitananda they speak of? Swami, Atma itself is known as Sat Chit Ananda because its nature is Asti Bhati Priyam. Bhakta, Swami, since lovableness, Priyam, is also its nature, should not everything be lovable? But scorpions, snakes, and wild animals, these do not evoke love. Swami, you may not love them, but they love each other, don't they? A thief likes another thief. A devotee likes another devotee. Each loves his own kind.
Thank you very much, sister. So, Swami has answered the question about Satchitananda. I also want to draw attention, Swami has used the word Brahman in the past, but now he's using the word Atman. Both are the same. So I don't want anyone to have any confusion there. Then, so, the devotee asked the question, there are things which we don't like. So how can we say that that's Brahman? So Swami say, as nice example, likes, the birds of the same feather flock together, they say, if we are of the same species, then we like that. Human beings like human beings, dogs love dogs, scorpions love scorpions, and so on. He says a thief likes another thief. That's the same profession, of course, there is a professional affiliation. A devotee likes another devotee. If somebody says Sai Ram, then we are, suddenly some affection wells up in us. Krishna devotee will love another Krishna devotee. A Christian will like another Christian. So these are natural tendencies of people. The name and form, to some extent, don't obstruct you, but other names and forms obstruct us from experiencing that. I think that's what Swami is trying to explain. Sai Ram, I will stop here. I will open it up for discussion, sir. Okay, we will proceed. I think I
So
just
sorry,
silence.
sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt. So this lovable on this particular paragraph, Swami telling scorpions and snakes they love each other. So I believe that the jnanis, or the person who has realized the Atma Jnana, they will love everybody. That's because they see the world as one. Like that's their understanding here. Or
Yes, brother, because they see beyond the name and the form. They do not pay attention to the name or the form. So they see beyond the qualities. Because not only why they're able to see is because they have overcome that in the first place about themselves. See, that's not possible. See, we all try to love everyone. You know, people, Swami says, love all, serve all. And everyone is trying to love all. It is just not possible. See, it's so, you know, the statement seems very simple, but the reality is a very, very difficult thing, because you will not be able to love another person until you know that you are Atma. Only when you discard your name and your form will you be able to see the divinity in the other person and then love. So, you know, how do we love people is first we should get rid of our name and our form. We should realize who we are as divine beings, as Atman. Only then we will be able to love anyone properly. Otherwise, actually, we are loving their name and form, and we are not loving them as Brahman or Atman. So that's my understanding. So I will open it up for discussion for others to share.
When Swami is saying that Brahman is Priyam, and he gives the example of a thief likes another thief, does that mean anything that gives us that sense of love or that sense of lovableness within us, that sense itself is Brahman, even if the thing that's giving us that is not something good? For example, someone who smokes a cigarette, like if they smoke a cigarette and they get some joy from that, that joy itself is Brahman, but I mean, they're getting it from the wrong place or ascribing that joy to the cigarette, whereas it's actually coming from within.
Yes, because that's the obstacle, sister.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the obstacle. Because of ignorance, we think that it is because of smoking or because of some endeavor or some interact, something. Yeah, so that's what the jnani, that's why he doesn't depend on the action. One who has realized doesn't need an action to feel the priya. That is the difference between jnani and a common man who mistakes something else for something else.
Siren, I think, no, that's why they say that if the thing, if a particular thing or whatever give joy, then it should give joy all the time, but it doesn't happen that way. So we think that something or some action or whatever, some person give joy, but actually the joy comes from within ourselves. That's what they say, because sometimes we like a certain kind of food, it gives great joy, but if we are sick or if we have some other mental agony or sadness, then that time we can't enjoy the food. Same food doesn't give joy all the time. So I think that elaborates that. But I want to ask this. Swami says love all, serve all. As Brother Arno explained, that is very, very true. That unless we realize ourselves as Brahman, we cannot do that. But Swami said that, used to say that statement all the time in public discourse or whatever. It's all the time. But so does Swami mean, on another level also, that this is the ultimate meaning of that, as Brother Arno said. But what I'm saying, does it has a mundane level of meaning or practical level of meaning? I would like to know that.
Yeah, that's a good question, brother. So it's for everyone to discuss. So I will open it up for discussion.
Sairam, I like the Swami's answer. You may not love them, but they love each other, don't they? That I think people have with their own beliefs and own thoughts. Maybe they like their, the thoughts and things. They love each other. Swami once says, when you say who's your friend, and then who you are, like that. We have the same thoughts and same beliefs. Maybe they love each other. So they don't agree each other. They may not say like same beliefs and same thoughts. They won't be. They don't love each other, or they don't like each other, like that. That's just they believe they are. So say devotee like devotee. That's what Swami says. Sairam.
Thank you very much, sister.
Sairam.
Anyone else would like to share?
Sairam. Swami says that on that Atma.
I think Brother Rajagopal, we lost you. So
Sairam, brother. Okay.
Sairam.
Okay, go ahead, brother.
Thank you. Sairam, Swami talk about that that love also, that mean that Atma level, no, that not that body level. That we can serve to everybody. That make sure that first we are safe at that place, no, that then we can save everybody. That's no problem. But first of all, we have to make sure that we stay in the safe position. Then you can save. That's what I'm saying. That's my answer. Yes, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you.
So, brother, Sairam, so Swami say love all, serve all. Because when we do the service with body conscious, we're going to create all kind of issues. All the bad ego going to come. So you cannot love. So when you develop good qualities within you, then you can love everyone. If you look at a dog, Swami saying, you have to don't look at the form and the name, because we are looking at everyone form, name, caste, and position, education. That is the way we are looking at them. When you avoid those one, then you can love everyone. When you love only, you can move on to the spiritual side. Otherwise, everything going to be wasted. So you cannot control your mind. That is my understanding, brother Sairam.
Thank you very much, brother. So maybe I will also attempt. No one else is volunteering. So see, the thing is, so as Brother Bumalesan asked, is there a mundane level of practice? I think people attempt to practice. Everyone will attempt to practice, but they will not succeed. Nothing wrong with attempting to practice. But when we attempt to do anything, it's always good to know as soon as we encounter the first problem. Because everyone in this world will try to love everyone and then will fail miserably. Then what happens is they've tried to find the cause somewhere else. They will find the cause within themselves. Will say we are not doing sadhana properly. Or something worse, we will blame the other person. So this is something which we encounter. So my understanding is very simple. For example, somebody says, I want to go to Niagara Falls, let's say, a person has never gone. So then we just get into the car and start driving, towards that direction. And then we lose the way somewhere. Then, people the passengers in the car will say, why don't you look at the map? Why don't you look at the instructions? Then we will turn on, the GPS or map and then try to find, and then we will go there. So whenever a destination is shown, an intelligent person will find out, okay, what is the map? What is the direction? Many of us go, do it yourself, you go and buy a cupboard, do it yourself cupboard. We will buy it and come. Generally, people don't read the instruction. They will start building it. Then they will find, these wrong pieces went to the wrong place. Then they will waste a lot of time. They have to undo everything. Then they will go back and read the recipe or, the instruction manual. So the same way, Swami has given a target. To reach that target, he has given so many prescriptions, how to do it. The thing is, if we say, no, we have to just do it, it is not very sensible. So the thing is, it cannot be practiced, because the love, when we say it's only at the Brahman level, how can we love with a name and form? But the thing is, at the mundane level, we can attempt and fail. Then, we should not, in the car, we are not looking at the map. Then if somebody complains in the car, they will say, no, because of you only I missed the way, or something like that. We will shout at the people around. The same way we will blame everything and everyone if we don't do the action. So the thing is, first of all, when Swami has given an instruction, we need to really understand. It is not very simple at all. If it was a simple statement, God does not have to come down on earth, take an avatar and spend 80 years and give one sentence. Because this sentence has already been given by, see, love all, serve all is the essence of the 18 Puranas according to Veda Vyasa. Because somebody told Veda Vyasa, oh, Maharishi, you have written 18 Puranas. I don't have time to read. Can you tell me in one sentence what it is? He said, pardon? Exactly. Paropakaraya punyaya papaya parapitanam. Means if you do help to everyone else, that is punya. If you harm everyone else, it is sin. Okay, this was, Swami took that, and that is a sentence Swami has said, help ever, hurt never, love all, serve all. That's the way he came up with this. But you should understand, this is the essence of everything. Can we easily understand the essence? It's impossible. So it is only at the spiritual level, as Brother Rajagopal has said. I just did a very long-winded analysis of that. So it is ultimately, it has to be at the Atmic level or Brahman level. For that, we have to identify ourselves as Brahman. All the sadhana is for that. Because once we understand that we are Brahman or Atman or God, not limited by the body and name, then we can really practice what Swami has come to teach. So that's my understanding. I will stop here. But sorry for the long elaboration. I will open it up for any comments or your thoughts, please, Saira.
Yeah, that's clear now. Yeah, that you were explaining nicely.
Thank you, Sairam, Brother Arno. You explained it very well. How do we cultivate this kind of an our habit or whatever the actions that we are doing? So even in the what do you call this? Sometimes the words doesn't come out of my mouth. I'm sorry, but the thing is, like when we pray, the last thing we are praying, okay, we pray to our family, and then we expand it to a different to the village, and then the kind of the town, and then the country, and to the whole world. We expand those kind of things. Even in our daily actions, what we do, just simply we love our sisters, brothers, and that is whoever it is that belongs to us. That's sort of a nature of our that the body and the name and the form kind of thing, that we are only appreciating it. But we have to go beyond that and think, say in other countries there are people struggling for food, for famine, or there's a disaster, anything like that. Our tendency is, we are right there, we wanted to go and help them. That is our attitude is, right? So we are expanding it. That's the way I think we should cultivate that kind of a habit within us. Then we can see the whole world as lovable. That is my understanding. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you, Saira.
Sairam, just to add to Brother Harold's point, so until we come to the love also world at the atmic level, while we are in the progress spiritually, we can see, for example, a table or any objects, a table, for example, that came from wood, and that's from nature, and nature is God. Or any food items, fruits and vegetables that came from farm, and the farm that behind the groceries, there are a lot of involvement, farmers, sunlight, nature, everything comes from God. So there's always a connection that we can think of atmic level. Don't waste water, water is nature, nature is God, like that. So there's always a connection to God and atmic level that we need to be surrounded by this love. Thank you, Sai.
Thank you very much, brother.
Sairam, I just recollected some 20, 30, 40 years back experience. So at the time, when I have an attachment to Sai, I say attachment because I don't want to say love to Sai. At that time, when I had attachment, I loved him actually. So I was organizing bhajans at homes with amicable devotees, and conducting bhajans, enlarging, speaking of his glory, and all happened because of my love or attachment to my Guru or Lord. So, because of the attachment to the Lord, we love the people. We love the people in another way. So there was a good understanding between me and the people there, and devotees love meeting, talking, exchanging Swami's glories and everything. So the love also can spring from our attachment to our Guru or the Lord. So it is like a mundane level. As Brother the Malaysian put it, it is at a mundane level. But as Brother explained, and Bhagawan also explained, it is ideal aim is to reach the Brahman level. So we starting from something mundane level to the Brahman level. Still we are trying. Yes, I thought about this one. Thank you, Saira.
Sairam, my little thought on this one, the love all serve all, actually in the very beginning level, it could be just for our happiness, with the name and the form, or even without name and the form. If we say we love all, serve all, that could be just for our happiness, we don't know whether others people, they would be happy or, they would be sad. But when we do some sort of in the spiritual, maybe the services or even our words, thoughts, and the actions, if we do something, that certainly that would give something for our own happiness. Maybe that's my understanding. Maybe in the mundane level, the worldly level, that would give us some sort of our own happiness. Then it would elevate into the maybe beyond the name and form in the spiritual or atmic level. So in order to experience that atmic level, or in the true meaning of love all, serve all, certainly we have to do something. It's like a baby step. First, we have to love all, serve all with the name and the form, and then only we can move into the next stages. That's my little thought on this one. Without having the baby steps for the maybe very beginning spiritual seekers, it will be hard, or it can even be achieved. It cannot be achieved. They can't go to that level, to practice, or to experience first. We need some sort of name and the form, the practice or something. It may be a little different view than all the brothers and explained nicely. But that is my little thought on this one. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you very much. I think you answered the question much better. Very well, I think, appropriate answer, which is right. And I think what you said and what Brother Simada said is similar, in the sense you need to pick a name and form with which you can have that complete love, which is the Guru or God, form, where you can develop that. Thank you very much. So we will proceed to the next slide, Sister Kalyan. I mean, I don't know, I hope if people feel we are rushing, please let know, but I think Swami is explaining the same topic a little in an elaborate way. So I think by going through, we will understand it a little more.
Brother, thank you. 1 second. So the Brother Arul was explaining something, no? He is doing practically too. He's, I believe that he is engaged in worldly, in world level some activities to the poor, the needy. So his worship is helping the needy. So there are several others, not only him. There are others people from Sai organization. We see that they work for it day and night, and dream of it, and think of the ways of developing the degree of satisfaction level. So it is growing to the macro level, macro, not macro level. So it goes to macro level. So everybody is in our own level of experiencing that love also all. I wanted to capture this idea. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Sorry, I unnecessarily glossed over. I think it was a very valid point. I think no one should feel that until we realize Atman, which we cannot love. We cannot attempt to love. I think that's the point which you're making, because we have to make some effort. But Swami says, we start with a meditation. We sit here and spread love to our family, to the world, to the society, and all that. And that is the mental practice which we do during meditation or whatever. Then when we come out, then Swami says, are we practicing it is something which we have to see. We should not just confine that to our meditation. Like when we go out and see how our thinking is. For example, I go and buy a pound of rice from a store. We don't even pay attention how that packet of rice, 1 pound of rice has come. How many people's labor has gone into it. If you trace back the shop fellow somebody has come and put it on the shelf, that has been transported by someone who was driving a truck. It has come via a ship or a flight, some pilot has driven it, the porters who are loading it. If you go back, there's a farm where it was cultivated. Somebody has worked for months watering and tending to it. Somebody has prepared the land for that. So the number of people who have touched that pound of rice is immense. The thing is, we cannot go and help everyone. We cannot go. But the thing is, when we pay, if we can pray and say, this money in some way should reach all these people. I extend my gratitude to everyone in this world. It's the same thing when we sit in front of a plate of food. There are so many items. Those so many items will not show up if hundreds of thousands of people have put something, labor into it, so that it will appear on a plate. We are in hurry to eat. Swami says, that's why we have to pray. We have to pray and give thanks to everyone who has made it possible for me to have that meal. But we sometimes, out of our own hunger, Swami says, we just jump and gobble the food up. We have not even thought about it. So the thing is, next time when we pay something at the store, if only we can say it with prayer, let this money reach everyone who has, let it be my gratitude. So this sense of gratitude will actually help us practice this love all, serve all, even in the name and form stage. So there are many ways, many techniques Swami has given, as Sister Anandi also has very nicely said, with the name and form we should cultivate, I think. So I thought I will just add this angle also. So every action, every object we use, like for example, I'm using a phone, so many people have maybe minimum wage and, very bad labor conditions, they have produced it. We should send our gratitude. We should recognize the gratitude and send samasta loka sukino, let the world be happy. Let the joy I get, let them also get. So there are many ways we can practice until we reach the level of Brahman also. So I hope I did not, say that we should not attempt to practice, even with our limited understanding and with the name and form. Sorry. Thank you very much. It's good that because these are practical ways we can live our life in a way where every action, everything which we do can become a prayer and a sense of expressing gratitude, love for this world. Sayam.
Sayam, brother, in this place, it's very good to state here. Sometimes people say, oh, COVID-19 is favorable for us for a meditation prayer. They are saying, some people are saying that. No, I always stop them to say, because as you said, under this COVID-19 situation, some people are producing food and bringing so many, as you said, exactly, coming to us, and we are putting a mask and going to buy, but at the store itself, people are with mask, 24 hours, 12 hours, 8 hours with mask, and we buy that food and we eat, and if we say, oh, God bless that COVID-19, I am progressing in meditation, it's absurd. So in one place, I noted in one group saying that. And one day I said, don't say this one. You think of others. Under what difficulty the healthcare workers, now Kalyan is here. Under what the healthcare workers are doing work. So we have to see around what is happening to us. So let us be faithful and grateful to each and everybody. That is that Brahman, growing to Brahman level. So thank you, brother, for this one, and sorry for this one. Thank you, Saira.
Very nice.
Ram, brother, I'd like to add one more thing. Even in Canada, we are having a good life because of what? The society, the people are paying money. Even if the food is coming to the table, whatever you will discuss, Brother Arno said, Brother Surya Kumar also mentioned, to come to the table, so many sweat behind to that one. Not only the human, animals involved, worms involved, everything involved in that one. That's what we are saying, that one of the reason we pray and eat the food too. So when you think about that one, how many hours, how many labors, how many sweat, how many lives there, how many sacrifice, so many things. So then the love is going to be built up. Thank you, Saira.
Sairam, brother, Sairam. Okay, so second, yes, Sairam.
So next time we have to pay taxes, instead of grumbling, I'll pay it with gratitude.
Everything, the money which goes out, we should not say it is too expensive, why? If we give it, see, the problem is we don't realize what we give is what we receive. This we don't, if somebody is planting seed in the field, the growth is multifold. If you plant the seed, it is just our attitude should be different. See, what we give is what we get back, which sometimes people forget. So whatever we are giving, it's not, we should give it with gratitude and love. If we spend for our own enjoyment, then that's completely different. It does not going to bring us good results. So whatever goes out of our hand, even if somebody demands a price, we just give them with so much gratitude, so that we are getting the benefit. I think that's, that is loving all. That's Priyam. That is, bringing out the divinity within us. A very nice point, sister. Because we should never grumble anything going out, because we did not bring anything in this world when we came. Everything which we have is from someone else. So we should not grumble and grudge when it moves, leaves us and goes. Saira, very nice point. Very nice. So we can express love even in so small actions. Yes, very true. Sometimes we find, traffic violation or something. We say, why are these people? The thing is, the police force is only able to get their funds so they can monitor, protect everyone. So everything which actually goes out actually helps the world. But we grumble and grudge, and if we can evolve from that, life will be different for us as well as the world. Very nice. Thank you very much.
Should I read on to the
Yes, I think so.
Bhakta? I do not understand all this clearly, Swami. Tell me some example, if there is any, of this Asti Bhati Priyam from the present world. Swami, my dear boy, why say if there is any? When all is Brahman, which one is not an example of that? Now, you go to a picture. The picture exists on the screen. It persists, it is. That is Asti. Who sees it and understands it? You. So it is Bhati. The names and forms which are Priyam, lovable, come and go. Even if you set them aside without being deluded by them, the screen is always there. One point has to be noted here. The pictures fall on the screen by means of a beam of light projected through a small slit in the wall of the machine room. But if it comes from the entire room, without the slit, escaping from that limitation, the figures will not be seen. The screen will be fully bathed in light. So too, if the world is seen through the small slit of one's mind, the manifold, multicolored creation will be cognizable. If the floodlight of Atmajnana is poured and you see it through the Atma, it will be one unlimited light, and no individual picture can be cognized. That is to say, all will be cognized as the one indivisible Brahman. Do you understand?
Sairam, everyone. I don't think that I need to dwell on this. Swami has very clearly and in simple languages explained why we see the manifold world and what is the way to see the Brahman. So I will leave with this and ask anyone else to comment or discuss this. Sairam.
Sairam, here Baba is giving an example. I just re-narrating what is it. So, example for Asti Bhati Priyam, Baba is giving example, this cinema theater. So in the cinema theater, there's a screen that is a isness, Asti, and light come through a slit and is projected on the screen. So the beautiful names, beautiful forms and names are going on. It is lovable. So that is Priyam. And the knowledge part, Baba is putting on the people who is looking on the picture. Whatever it is, in the whole setup, there is knowledge as well. So it is a very good combination where we see that one item, we see Asti, Bhati, Priyam all there. And plus, Baba is explaining a very good point that mind. So when the light goes through our particular mind, then the whole world is seen with different colors and everything. But if the mind is eliminated and the real Atma floodlight of Atmajnana is poured now. So like in the theater, if the light is not coming through the slit, no picture is seen. Everything is full of light, the whole is full of light. Now, likewise in the practical world, when we look through the mind only, we see this attraction or distraction, attraction. But if we can get rid of this mind and see through the Atmajnana, so it will be one unlimited light and no individual picture can be cognized. So it's very nice because I just summarized it. Thank you, Saira.
Sairam, brother. So I will, so I don't know whether any, Sister Kalyani, you have something to say?
No, please, you go ahead.
Yeah, no, because I said, it's a nice question because the mind seems to be the obstacle. The Bhuta Pratibandha is the mind ultimately, which makes us focus on the name and the form. When that is not there, it's all Brahman, it's the understanding. But I think we are so attached to the name and form because we are used to seeing through the mind that we cannot fathom how we will get joy, if everything is light. I think that's the question, which we'll have to figure out. So I will stop there, Sai.
I just want to share something. When I was reading, Nirvana Shatakam, and I just learned the first 3 stanza and the meaning, and it's just the thought I'm sharing, and I hope it aligns with this. It made me think how, Nirvana Shatakam is saying about how our body is, the shields, the air, the Panchabhuta, and all of that. And the thought came, so the same principle in everybody. So why we see everybody different then? It's just the 5 elements came together, or here the signs come. We have different features because of genetics and all of that. But so the principle in mankind, the way the body is working and all of that, it's the same principle. So why we see a difference? Everything is same. I mean, it made me think that way. So I guess it will help me in future not to see differences in people.
Sahiram, sister, thank you.
To add to Sister Shivani's point also, when I was reading this, I was thinking about that same thing too. Like we are going to the same movie, but there are say 50 people in the movie, but the same movie, but to everybody's thing is a different, they get different aspect from that particular movie. Same thing in this world too. Like we are all in this on the same world, but we are looking at this world at a different perspective. So I don't know. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam, brother, Sairam.
Thank you, Sairam. You know that this thing, what we study from Baba's books and everything. So we come to this world with a lot of samskaras that done in the past. So each act, whether it is mental or physical or verbal, each act has an imprint in our mind. So it is an accumulation in our chitta when we take birth. So we look through that samskaras, the impressions. We look through the impressions, the world we are looking through that impressions. So the reason for looking, people looking differently is the impressions in our chitta. So the purification of chittam is the sadhana that we have to do. And all these sadhanas, japa, dhyana, seva, all these things will clear out this bad imprint. Then we get the Siddha Suddhi. When we get the Siddha Suddhi, purification of consciousness, then the Atmic light will have to be experienced by us now. So in the Dhyana Vahini, we see that we have to do the meditation as one of the sadhanas, because it is going to impact much on our chitta. So through that sadhanas, let us clear our bad impressions and let us progress towards our ideal. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much.
Sairam. Sivadas has very nicely explained why each one of us see world differently and all that. But this, I just want to say this, and if anyone can say, explain or whatever. This to get rid of the vasanas and inherent tendencies, the strong ones are extremely difficult. We are seeing, maybe it's ourselves or others close to others, we see day in and day out for years. So many years, even after so much lessons for the same thing, still they are unable to change, whether it could be we or others. So that shows the strong one tendencies and inherent vasanas are so difficult to get rid of. So it's God's grace is definitely need for that. Swami's grace is definitely need for that. To get Swami's grace, Swami always says that it in proportion to our sadhana.
Yeah.
So it's kind of chicken or egg situation. So I just wondering about that. So if anyone can throw some light on it, Sairam.
Sairam, brother, Sairam. A good question, a good thing to discuss. Anyone else has something to add or comment on?
looks he has answered his question. No? He says through sadhana. So in proportion to our sadhana, these samskaras are removed. I don't remember any other question he put it.
No, his question is,
Yeah.
even our sadhana, our attempt to do sadhana itself will be colored by our, samskaras or vasanas.
Exactly. That is, yeah, exactly. That's right.
That is his question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Time will come actually.
That sort of thing.
Yeah,
So, but Swami,
So many people think, I can't do anything, so let me just do whatever I am, give up. So what he's saying is, if the vasanas are so strong that we are unable to do sadhana, then what happens? Is the question he's asking. Because the sadhana itself is limited. There are, so that's his question.
But that thinking in this way itself is grace is shown, because there are others, there could be others who don't worry about this question. No? So when the question comes like that, that means our progress is starting at least. So that is itself a question, asking question is itself a plus point, rather than be disheartened or frustrated. No. That always take it good and progress. Yeah. Really, there's so many things in the back at home we can do that here of us difficult. This visiting the temples, seeing the jnanis. If you go in Sri Lanka, if you go to Sannidhi, you can see saints, the sadhus. So visiting them is very helpful. But here in Canada, actually, only the study circle is, only this brother Aruno is our saint, and only through his words, this is only, we have no other things here. They like that, no? Even Aruno's speech, interviews, it takes our whole heart, into that sometimes, So these are the things, the books, visiting holy shrines, and mainly visiting saints, These all will relieve us, relieve our, give enough enthusiasm to start our sadhana. One day, Ramana Maharshi said, when a baby or child is died, the mother cannot bear the pain. The mother, the only solution, only thing that will help her is visiting a living saint. By visiting a living saint, that mother who is worried highly about the loss of a child can get some relief, he said. So it is always the saints. Of course, we had Baba, but Baba physical form is not here. But thank you, Sairam. Thank you, Sairam.
Just to correct something, so sometimes our illusion is so great that we, even when we see divinity, we attribute it to one name and form. So we should not be deluded by that. I just wanted to tell you, Sairam, brother. Right? I think Kuru had something to say, and I think brother others also, brother Tasan also.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead, brother. Kuru, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Now I thought I can share my thoughts and experience. I mean, for the questions you asked, guys, I mean, say when you say sadhanas, yes, there's so many sadhanas available. But simply you can say Swami's, when he bring children to the school, first thing he's chanting, or teaching for every kids come to school, Gayatri mantra. But when he's teaching, he's not expecting to understand. He only wanted to purely just want to say it. I mean, even from my experience, when I chant myself, my younger kids, only 3 years old, she mimic without saying it, without knowing anything. So the reason, I think the problem we all have, we expect something to happen. We expect, okay, if we did that, if we say this chanting, and we will get to that. We expect. That's the reason we couldn't do anything, or we not follow it, because we say, I'm chanting 108 times today. Then expect something magic will happen next day. So the expectation is holding us. If you take out the expectation, just chant with a full understanding on it. Anything you can simply saying, simple Om Swaya Nama, whatever you like, be like. Just keep on saying with no expectation, and then I believe gradually, then you will see the light. But as a human nature, when we do something, we always expecting. That's the nature. There's nothing wrong with that. And so that's how you can't control on it. That's because that's the way we created. That's the way we mind and everything. So you just to do it, and then gradually we will get to that goal, whatever we may meant to have. That's what my lately understand from talk to Annas and reading and listening to other speech. But I thought I'd share my understanding and my experience. Hopefully that will bring some light to the others.
Thank you, Guru. Thank you.
Sairam.
Yes, Brother Rajagopal.
Sairam, that any kind of karma can wipe out with through sadhana. No? That sadhana should be with the journeying. The journeying is very important. That, for example, that Ratnakara was a very thin person. He's a thief, no? That he did a lot of things, and he also killed somebody at the time. Maybe, I don't know. That only the sadhana he came to as a Valmiki. You know, he wrote that all kind of books. No, that's mean that anybody can do that sadhana with journey. Journey should be that important for that sadhana. That's what I am saying. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Just to add to the discussion, and it's pure my understanding, when Swami is saying Atma Jnana or invisible Brahma, you become cognizant of oneness. My take on that is, with all the discussion, is it starts from home, right? We have to make our home as a temple, not temple as a home. That's what I have learned from Bhagawan, that how we can see that Brahman in my child, in my husband, or in my wife, and not scream. Because the minute we get out, I mean, I'm talking about some other discussions with me as well. The minute we come out of the study circle or the science center, we are saying, how can we make our house a temple? Then only we can love other people. Forget about any. I mean, in the house, can we stop hurting ants or animals, or even the spider? Can we have that much love that the house become a temple, so pure that people feel that vibration in the house? And I think that's what Swami said. Start from your home, from your kids, from your family. Understand, love them to the extent that you don't see any difference in them. So yeah.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you.
So, Sairam, brother, so my understanding, we all came to this world with the karma mala. So everybody's length is different. Someone have 5 feet, someone have 2 feet, I don't know. So, and everybody have the same divinity within them too. So they have to practice, they have to get the knowledge and practice. Everybody have 3 gunas. So if you have sattvic, you may have rajas guna, you have tamas guna. Tamas guna, you can cut it by the rajas guna. Rajas guna, you can kill by the sattvic nature. Eventually, you can build up the sattvic. You have to practice. Even if you take a sportsman, they have to practice very well. Then only they can achieve the level. This is Atmic level. So we are studying here. We learn a lot. When you practice, we can reach to the level. Then Swami is saying you can kill that mind and everything through the simple sadhanas like namasvarana and japa and meditation. And this will lead us. It's not difficult. Even our 108 Sathya Sabas, names. I think 107th one, it says Sulabha Prasannaya Nama. It's very simple. That's what Swami is saying. So if you have faith and devotion, you can achieve the goal. Thank you, Saira.
Sairam. Anyone else has something to say, please?
Yeah, to add to brother, Sulabha, Swami can be brought to in front of us very easily. And also Swami said, you take one step, I'll take 10 steps towards you. And also Swami said, I'm in you, around you, above you, below you. So what else we need? We have to have that faith and go on. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much, brother. So I would just, sorry, someone wanted to say something.
Sairam, so I add something that so I'm always saying that I came to the world to give something special, no? Nobody asking that one. Everybody asking small things. So I'm ready to give that liberation for everybody, but we are not asking that. Sairam.
So I think the even in the paragraph, see, there's a slit of light. So in each of us, there is that light flowing. It is just that we need to tap into that. That's all we have to do. Even though our, sometimes we pay attention to the obstructions, the mind too much, and we think, oh, there's no light at all. But as long as we are born, there is that light still shining through for everyone in this world, however good or bad or whatever we may perceive as. So because the light is there, everyone has an equal chance to progress from wherever. I think, as brothers have already, sisters have also discussed, all of us, from wherever we are, we can move on. There's optimism. There's light at the end of the tunnel, as they say. So there is still, we are able to see the light. It's flowing through. So everyone actually has that access, and that if we properly use it, I think we can progress from wherever we are. So I think it was a good. Yes, Sairam, sister Ambia.
Sairam. I think whenever we do study circle, we are learning something in 1 point or 2 point in the study circle. If we practice the one thing at home and the community with our friends or everyone, we can see the different. But we don't have to look at other people are doing what and what they are wrong and the world is wrong and complaining like that. Instead of doing that, we always look at ourselves and change ourselves. Then automatically, individually, we do that kind of practice. Then world become a good place. We don't have to complain others like that. And also for me, for my transformation, I knew Swami in 1970s. That age, I only can see the miracles and what I can ask Swami, my studies and things like that. Now, then 80s, first time I got to Puttaparthi, I don't see Swami and go everywhere, places like he's in Vrindavan, he's in Puttaparthi like that, only searching the form. Now I understand the level of now is very easy to understand. Transformation is the one. I realize now, instead of asking for my personal thing, Swami, we have with own thing, whatever we need and whatever we don't need, Swami knows. Now I realize that on level we have to practice that. We don't have to underestimate us. We are progressing and we are doing better than before. And the future, maybe we will do more sadhanas and things. That's what I believe. I always go in forward, and I think more we can do sadhanas. Sairam.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you. Does anyone have something to say? It's about 10:16. If there are comments, we can discuss. Else we can close, I guess, because I think the next, if you read the next one, there'll be big discussion. So maybe everyone can read and analyze, then come. If I'll just pause for about 10 seconds. If no one has anything to say, we will close. Enough for us to contemplate on. That's what I can say. Okay, Sairam, everyone. It was a wonderful session. Very nice things we recollected. We have a week to think about, contemplate, and try to practice, I guess. With Swami's blessings, we will march forward. Sairam. We'll close with Samasta Lokanshan. Samastaloka sukhino bhavantu. Samastaloka sukhino bhavantu. Samastaloka sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sairam.
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 Sairam, everyone.
Sairam.
Before we conclude.